Hi, welcome to Less of Me Success Stories. I'm your host, Robin Dobbins. Natalie couldn't be with us today, so our guest is also our co-founder and co-host, Scott King. Hi, Scott.
Hey there, how are you guys doing?
Oh, good. It's so good to have you here. So we're going to do a slightly different episode today. If you haven't noticed, Scott has not been around for a while. He has an update for us, but he's also our first official return guest. He was the very first guest on Less of Me Success Stories in December of 2023. Also, I want to note that I have invited some people. Not everyone is here currently, so we may have some people popping in while we're talking, but hopefully they know to mute themselves and make themselves known when I bring them on. But otherwise, we may have some people popping in for you today because we're kind of having a party, I think. So, hi, Scott. How are you doing? What's been going on? Tell us everything.
Well, first off, wow, December 23, that's crazy. I didn't
I
realize
agree. Yeah.
that.
So this is let me look at my paper. Episode 36.
My goodness. I remember all of us visiting Anna at one of her demonstrations, and Matt was telling us basically we're going to do this. And look where we're at. That's super cool. Yeah, I have not been around much whatsoever because during the last handful of months here, I started a new job. And with that new job, there's traveling involved, but there was a lot more traveling in the very beginning of it. So as I told Robin, my only consistency I was going to have with this podcast was inconsistency. And I just, I hate when people rely on me to come through and I can't be there. So that was happening more and more and more and more. And it just came to the point where I realized I was not going to be able to continue doing the podcast. So there that is. Yes, I'm kind of stepping out of the podcast thing for right now, just because I do not like people relying on me and not be able to help them out and be there. And I would rather just vacate and, let you guys see it through, and however you guys want to do that, whatever feels best. I don't like being relied on and not being able to be there. I just bothers me not be able to be helping whatsoever. But with the new job, I mean, it's a great thing for us and the family. Yes, I have been traveling quite a bit. I mean, I've gone to New York. Was just in California this week. Which hey, they got
That's
good
always
Mexican
fun,
food.
a trip to California.
Yeah, I've been there, done that, lived there. I've got my fill. I'm good. But so the traveling is kind of tapering off. I'm still going to be always in the traveling position with work, but more to where we live. But that also, a lot of times with the podcast, I'm not sure if I'm going to be home in time or if it's a traveling day. So there's that. And also just something that kind of got confirmed right today, which is pretty cool on a personal level. I guess not that work is not personal. So I'm heavily involved with church, those that do not know. And there was another thing that I was missing. There was times I was missing out was because I'm actively involved in not through just our church, but there's a men's retreat thing that I'm involved with every 6 months. So there's that. But our church, we are doing like a deaconship thing. I think that's a word. I'm not sure if I made that up right now or not. But people volunteered some people to be deacons within the church that basically are there to help the elders alleviate their jobs. And some people had, people suggested people to be deacons, so I got suggested by, I guess, a handful of people, looks like I'm going to be starting that. So that's pretty cool too. But then again, with my plethora of spare time I already don't have, there's more on my plate, but that's good. I could make that work. And but yes, so that just adds to me being inconsistent on this podcast. And you ladies are doing some awesome stuff on it, and I try to poke my head in when I'm available, but which hasn't been much, but you guys have really done a great job, and I'm I know you guys you get your vision, the vision you guys have for the podcast and everything, and your willingness to really make it a good thing. I was just an anchor holding you guys back, and you guys are doing great things, and it's going to be a great show and a great podcast, and you guys are doing awesome.
I disagree. You definitely weren't holding us back. I think that you have always been the one with the great questions. I will say that till the last day. You always ask the better questions than I do. So we certainly miss you around here, but really just very happy for you, for your family, for this new adventure that you get to go on. And wow, I didn't know about the deacon thing. So you just found out about that today?
Well, I knew that there was talks of it, and I heard my name was thrown out by several people. But then after church today, my pastor came up and talked to me and said, yeah, this is what we're doing. And, you know me well. He said, we have some questions, some self-evaluation stuff. I know you are hard on yourself. Try to be more honest and not beat yourself up. And actually, so I'm always looking to the negative part of me, but no. So yeah, that looks like we're in step one of that process, and we're going to be moving forward with it. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I think you definitely should be. And there's a lot to be said about kind of knowing your limits and kind of setting your boundaries. And this was one more thing. So, and not, even though it just seems like we get in here and start talking, it's not as easy as it may sound. We do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and it takes a lot of time. Another one of our guests has shown up. So there he is. So I'm just going to go ahead and say who's here for right now, and there might be some others coming on. Like I said, I invited some people. So Matt is here. So Matt is my husband. Obviously, we talked about him a second ago because he was the brainchild behind all of this. And he's like, you guys should do a podcast. No, not me, you two. And here we are over a year later. So we're going to we continuously throw him under the bus for making us do this, but it's been a fun ride. And then now we are joined by someone who refuses to be a guest on our show, even though he's kicking butt and taking names. And Kurt Lepird is here with us. So, hi, Kurt. We're just catching up and talking. So, Scott has told us that he is moving past this. He's too good for podcasting.
No, I just said if Kurt doesn't come on, there's no point of me being here anymore.
That's true. And now he's finally here and you're walking out the door. So it took you leaving. Obviously, we understand why he never came on. He's made himself perfectly clear. He's waiting for you to leave before he comes on.
Yeah. I'm not going to be on this show with that guy. Looking extra jacked though, Kurt.
Thanks. Been working at it and steady for 15 months now, I suppose.
Nice.
So
yeah, I'm actually tomorrow going and getting signed up at the gym so I can start lifting, because it's just since I started the job, everything's just been on pause, and not getting any younger, so I really need to pack on some of that muscle.
yeah, apparently it's been working. I get a lot of compliments and people that haven't seen me for a while, and just like the one guy just said, "Holy shit," last week when he saw me after a year. So yeah, at least I know someone's paying attention. Some days I look in the mirror and I look the same. Some days I think I look good. So you know how that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what is this called? Body dysmorphia. We'll never really see our true success or goals, and always beat ourselves up.
I was going to ask about that, Scott. So have you been able to continue? I mean, you had your wild, crazy goal of doing the triathlon. I'm assuming that's also gotten
that wild and crazy stupid, idiotic goal is still a goal.
Yeah.
It's just, well, I could tell you this. It's currently going on right now, the Ironman in here in Texas, and I don't think I'm going to make it. So I don't think this year's.
Prioritized us. Yay.
Yes, I'm going to have to cut this short so I can go catch up with everybody. But I think I turned 48 in a month and a half. So I think that's going to be my by 50-year-old goal.
Okay.
But yeah, it just everything hit the brakes. I mean, I'm still eating right, not messing that up or anything like that. But it is my fitness, my cardio, my training with all that, like the bike, the running. No, that's just all garbage now. But once I got back from Southern California this past week, that was I knew that was like the last of my, run over here, run over here, run over here. I'm now going to be fairly central to staying in Texas always, just with a few random trips here and there. So yeah, I'm going to go. I was going to do the home gym thing, but I like the idea of just getting a membership to a gym, just getting. I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars and still have subpar equipment. I'd rather just, there's a nice gym down the street. So I'm gonna, and also I like the fact that they have, the treadmills and the, that sort of thing. So I can kind of get everything in. And also, if I do have any overnight trips, I'll still be able to either have a hotel place or go to that same gym network, wherever it may be. So
yeah, that's a convenient thing when you travel, to pick a gym that you could go to all over the place.
Yeah, but like I said, as far as diet and eating, it's actually honestly probably been a little bit better because I got the corporate credit card now, and I'm kind of like a professional lunch taker outer. Like I take a lot of people out to lunch, and so yeah, I'm not pinching pennies anymore when I'm doing that. So I'll go get the good steak, or I won't get like the cheeseburger patty. If I would do that without paying for it, but my taste have gone up a little bit when I'm not paying for it.
Corporate card changes everything. You get to eat. So when they look at your expense report, they're going to be like, "Who did we hire? What? He only eats steak."
Right. I was kind of pretty excited one time. We went and took some people out to lunch, and they had quail and prime. It was actually Oklahoma, quail and prime rib. So yeah, I wasn't paying for it, so I got quail and prime rib for lunch. Why not?
That's right. Hey, take advantage of that. I mean, if you're having to schmooze people, you might as well do it.
And you know what?
Do it right.
Yeah, and for a second I felt bad, but you know what? I don't drink alcohol, so it is a huge cost saving compared to the people I've seen in the industry. So yeah, they're a little bit extra for a prime rib, but they're still saving a lot of money with not me consuming alcohol.
There you go, and you get to stay on course with your goals, so that's a good thing. And it's good that you bring that up, because I want to try to keep topics within our conversation, but eating while you're traveling, a lot of people complain that they can't do that. So you basically spent the last 3 months. Has it been 3 months
almost
already?
I think I come away a week away from 3 months.
Yeah, wow. So you've spent the last 3 months traveling and been able to be successble.
I went to New York,
or if maybe even better.
Yeah, I was in the land of pizza in New York, and didn't no need for it. Although I did bring one back home for the family.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
That was a nice thing to bring one home for the family and watch everybody else eat it. Well, if you ever have to go to Chicago, you can get that meat crust Luminalti's pizza.
Yeah. There might be in my distant future, there might be a Chicago trip for work.
Yeah, highly recommend. It's a delicious pizza.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're in Phoenix too.
Oh, actually, I do for sure have Phoenix coming up.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them in Phoenix.
Nice. Okay. I'll have to bug you about that. Later on, before when I head out that way. I'm trying trying to plan my Phoenix trip to where the girls are out of school and we can kind of all just go there and stay in the hotel for for work we pay for the hotel, and then just kind of after hours just to hang out as a family. So,
we're pros at that. We've been traveling. We travel with Matt for work, not frequently, but we have done it a handful of times. And
yeah,
he's going to Arizona, not taking me though, so we're not going to talk about that.
Well, I thought I was a genius coming up with it, and apparently I didn't come up with anything new because it seems like everybody does that. So.
Yeah, well, we've made a couple of trips work, but like since my dad lives in Boulder, so he has units all in the Colorado area. We'll travel. He travels with work, but I travel personally. But we're still there together, so that's been that's a nice feature.
Yeah,
absolutely. To be able to do those kinds of things.
On a side note, speaking of family, I think we talked about this. I'm not sure. I believe I posted on the Facebook page. But
you posted. Are you going to talk about your daughter? Because I was going to ask you about her. Yes, please tell us about what she's doing.
Man, so behind the scenes, many times I have reached out to Anna. I've reached out to Vinny, and just unfortunately, she's got my genes, and she struggles with weight. And we found out a while back that she had a gluten issue, and we tried to work with that, but it just wasn't working great. But and Anna was a big help with that, but we just couldn't stay consistent with it. And oh gosh, it was a handful of months ago. I was at my old job, and she texted me and said, could you print this out for me? I said, yeah, what is it? I pulled it up, and it was the cabbage soup diet. And I was like, baby girl, no. I mean, do you think what I do works? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll print it for you, read it over. She's very much like me. It has to be her idea. It can't be my idea. So I just printed it out, the PDF, and gave it to her. And slowly but surely, she started checking it out. And I noticed her making changes. And gosh, so I don't know how many months she's been doing it now. It's been a few months, but she's down like 35 pounds. And
wow.
Yeah, she's 12. So she's down 35 pounds. I mean, just everything about her she's feeling better. I mean, she like her complexion, her skin's better. Like she was always bloated. Like you look like just I think because of the gluten issues, honestly. Uncomfortable, like always had like acid reflux almost. Everything about her, she feels better. She looks phenomenal. She's been golfing. She was doing shot put and disc. She's been really active at school with doing plays and everything like that. She's getting some confidence in herself. Saw a picture my wife sent when she was doing the shot put. She's got like calf muscles and everything. It's awesome. She's doing fantastic. So proud of her.
That is amazing. It's just that testament to if you just keep being the example, then somebody's going to see it and do it. And it's always our loved ones that we want to have see us, but they never do. And your daughter saw it. And
that's exactly what Anna and Vinny were telling me. You can't force it upon her. You have to just be the example, because she'll just develop a food complex if you kind of force it. And I agreed they were right, but I just never thought it was going to actually finally happen. And yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, that's exciting. And you rescued her from the diet roller coaster before she even stepped on the ride.
And she's a kid, so like sometimes she'll want to have a treat or
a New York pizza.
A New York pizza. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Because she's the one that's all enamored by with the New York stuff. She thinks it's cool. And I would have assumed like, oh my gosh, New York pizza, never had this in my entire life. Here's my opportunity. I'm just going to murder this thing. She had like a piece of pizza, So even when she doesn't eat perfectly, she doesn't go off the rails. She makes very wise choices. One and done, get it out. And we're good. So it's not like she's good at not doing what I would do. Dabble a little bit and you're off the rails forever. She's able to rein it in.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's better than a lot of people.
Right. Right. No, I'm proud of her.
Yeah, and well, you should be. That's very exciting. So is anybody else in your family following the two of you now, or is just the two of you setting the example?
Yes, my oldest daughter is carbs are her what we're not consuming in carbs, she picks up the slack for us.
Oh no. Oh no. Well,
She's got a weird thing since she's a kid where she's got like a food sensory thing, and she eats just a very small handful of types of food, and spaghetti noodles is one of them.
Well, I don't think I grew my palate until after I was in college, and then my college friends started saying, "Oh, you need to try this. Oh, you need to try this." So
Well,
maybe,
you mean to
unfortunately, her college friends will probably continue down the carb path, but at least she'll have expanded,
Yeah.
and she'll still have this background from what you've done.
You mean to tell me that spaghetti noodles with butter and salt is not a refined palate? That's
Maybe if she also eats grilled cheese sandwiches.
which she does not.
Oh, see,
Yes,
yeah.
it's odd.
I think she still has some work to do in the refined
Yes.
palate venue. So, but I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be perfect. I love that it's noodles and butter. My son's the same way. He doesn't like sauce, like
Really?
sauces at all. He doesn't do sauces
Oh.
at all. So like if it's chicken tenders or whatever, he'll no dipping sauce or anything. But yeah. Just to let you guys know who are listening to this is that another guest from that has been invited. Our guest from episode 5, Tim Mallien, has joined us. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Robin. Hey, Scott. Sorry,
What's going on, bro?
at my in-laws and completely forgot about this, so my bad.
No.
You're okay. I'm just happy to see that you popped in. So we're having a little surprise goodbye party for Scott. Even though I do want to make sure, Scott, that you are very well aware that you're still part of everything. So should your schedule calm down and should you decide you miss doing this stuff, you're always welcome to come join us on the show because you are the co-founder. So very, very much appreciate your presence if you want to come back. So yeah, so hi Tim. Yeah, we're just doing some catching up here. So just thought I'd invite Scott's friends because what most people don't know is that we are all kind of in this group chat together. So we're each other's support group, and I'm always going to advocate for people to find their support. And this is us right here. So I'm glad you could make it. You can't give us too much of update about what you're doing though, because you're on our schedule.
All right, I'll keep it tight-lipped.
You could give a brief update.
Well, as of yesterday, I'm down just under 90 pounds and feeling great, looking good, I think. Maybe not according to Kurt, but I'll take him with a grain of salt.
Dude, that's amazing. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Wow. 90 pounds. That how long did that seems like you just heard you getting back into it?
6 months. Well,
Yeah,
6
dude.
started back at the end of September, and
Yeah.
it was like 70 at that point. From that
Wow,
point,
that's
yeah.
phenomenal.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely killing it. Jeez. It's almost like there might be something to this way of eating.
Yeah, just little something.
We're sticking to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Oh, I guess Kurt didn't want to show his face anymore.
We can only take him in small doses.
That is very true. I'm surprised he doesn't have a map behind him.
Right.
He's probably working on that now. Thanks.
Oh God, I opened my mouth too soon. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you didn't disappoint. You're wearing your Buc-ee's t-shirt.
Yes, I was counting today. I have 14 Buc-ee shirts in my drawer.
And with all this weight loss, you're going to have to sell all of those and buy new ones.
Exactly. A bunch of them are way too big, so it's okay. The one I'm wearing, I was digging in my in-laws' yard today, so it's okay if this one gets ruined.
You're helping them out, do some work over there or something?
Yeah, so they have these irises that are from Western Pennsylvania, and they grow like weeds. So they were literally encroaching 5 feet off of their flower bed. So I was helping them out, and
No.
by digging them all out and putting them in my yard.
Now, are they local to you?
Yeah, they live about 20 minutes from our house.
Oh,
But
okay.
just so you know what their view looks like, what they wake up to every morning. Let me just flip this camera around, if it will let me. I don't know if it will. Nope, it won't. But I'll just
spin
turn them that
yourself
way.
around. There you go.
That's
Oh.
that's what they can
Oh.
look at every day.
That's nothing wrong with that.
And it's very windy today, so it's
It
kind of
is.
nice.
It is. Yeah, it's a windy day out here too.
I don't know where this came from, but I'll take it.
And
Well, not a good day to be with the wind like this. It's not a good day to be riding a bicycle or swimming in a open water.
that's that's what made me stop. That's why. I mean, I was
Yeah.
ready to do the Ironman today, but no. I mean, just a little too much wind for my preference.
There's no swimming in Cross Lake here. There's gators and God knows what else in there. Absolutely not.
Makes you a fast swimmer.
You're not going to outswim gators. It's not going to happen.
Makes you a tough swimmer.
That is for sure.
Just don't wear a belt of raw chicken, and you'll be fine.
Maybe chicken, yes, but rotted chicken, definitely not.
Oh,
They
yeah.
love rotten chicken.
Do they ever get gators up on the yard, or they stay in the water for the most part?
They have not had a gator in their yard, but their neighbors have.
Oh,
But right now, with the water being as choppy as it is, the gators are probably hiding in a cove where it's not.
okay.
They like still water. They don't like choppy open water like this.
I gotcha. Makes sense.
You know, I've learned more about gators in my 16 years here than I ever thought I would ever need.
Yeah.
But you know, that's how it is here.
In a past life, I worked at a nature center, and I handled a alligator and
Whoa.
taught children all about them. Yeah.
That's
I like
cool.
that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I have a picture of myself holding an alligator? No.
What?
So you're just going to have to take my word for it.
Even I have a picture holding a gator.
I used to care for it every day and never took it's not like I was doing a selfie with an alligator, but yeah.
Shame,
That
shame,
was-
shame.
I know. I also used to handle raptors, and I don't have any pictures of me handling any raptors either.
Wow.
You're just
to
gonna
put
have to
this in
take my word for
perspective.
it.
Just
Go
to,
ahead, Matt.
Just to put this in perspective, the gator was the size of a chihuahua.
Yeah, that's a little.
Doesn't
tiny,
matter. Still,
itty.
you know what? This usually, like with stuff like that, like with snakes, for example, the smaller they are, the more they almost scare me because I feel like they're faster and they can get to me quicker. So,
Yeah, the little swamp puppies are the least fun.
If we had gators in North Dakota, they'd be big.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, what do you consider small? The 13-footers that we have here?
Oh, see now he can't turn off his mute button.
Yeah, current technology, you know how that goes.
on a side note, Matt, how's your knee doing? How's your healing going?
It's going well. I'll turn my camera on for a moment. It's going well. I've been released from the doctor. To Robin's dismay, I started jiu-jitsu again. So I show up to the house and I've got bruises on my arms and on my chest and marks on my face. And she goes, "I didn't know you were going back today." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going back." But you know, it's a slow go. I'm not overexerting myself or anything like that. I've got my rehab exercises that I'm doing. So trying to get back on the horse. That's all.
You look like you were moving pretty well in the video Robin posted of you last night bringing Mitchell his cake. I was like, had knee surgery.
Yeah, I did. You know, I don't have the pain that I had prior. Now it's just like every once in a while, you know, you do a little turn and you're like, oh, it's still a little tender.
You're
You know, something like that. But it's not near what I had prior to. So it's I'm glad it got done. I'm very fortunate with the company I work for that, you know, we didn't have to pay for anything out of pocket. So it it's good. I'm glad it's I'm trying to get back to normal, so I'm almost there.
Man, I can totally relate with that with my hip. After, it was like less pain, but then it was just weird after the surgery is over. So I get it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain amount of getting used to not moving a certain way yet, because you think you're done, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can, like, for instance, before I tore my meniscus, I was jogging 2 miles a day in the morning. And so after I got done with rehab, I was like, well, let me see how bad my leg is. And I tried it and got like a quarter of a mile, and I was like, nope, this ain't gonna work. So, it's just not there yet, but it's getting there.
That's good. Well, slowly but surely.
Yeah, it does seem like he doesn't have anything wrong. It'll just be like a turn, like he'll just turn on it just right, and he'll get a little twinge. I'll see it on his face, but otherwise, it appears to be good as new. And his flexibility and mobility and all that stuff was almost like the very next day after surgery, he had to go to rehab, and they had him bending his knee and everything. And they're like, "Wow, this is really impressive." It was almost identical to the other side.
Yeah, that's wild. That usually that's usually slow going right there.
Yeah. So that worked out really well, and then he went back, I guess, like, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, and they're like, "It's not even inflamed. You don't have to use your crutches anymore." It's like, yeah, that's right, because he's been sticking to the diet, so he didn't have any of that extra inflammation there, and it just healed very, very quickly.
That's great.
I wish I would have known that when I had my hip surgery, because I think my recovery would have been a lot faster. But after I had my snip, I was amazed that they're like, "You're gonna have pain for weeks." I had none within a day. It was crazy.
You know what? I attribute a lot of that to, like, when I had that my extra skin removed. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, you're going to be uncomfortable for weeks on end. It's just, you're going to have to do that." I've always been a freak of nature with surgery, but still, I literally could have went back to work on the way home from the hospital. Granted, I just have a desk job, so that's nothing heroic, but the pain, I never really thought about it with the anti-inflammatory way of eating, but yeah, I was almost never in pain. Just, I felt like I did a lot of sit-ups the day before. That's pretty much all I had.
It's too bad when it was all said and done, since you felt like you had done sit-ups and you didn't lift up your shirt and it wasn't all six-pack.
You would think just for just a complimentary, it's kind of like, come in here to get skin removal, leave with a six-pack. You get,
they should like sew it in.
Right. I don't see what the big
like
deal.
the t-shirt that has it painted on. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They're missing out on an opportunity. They could charge extra for that.
Yeah. I would have paid.
Yeah,
I know I have a six-pack just very, very deep down there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm protecting it.
I'll stick with the keg for now.
Right.
Just keep working. We can't all be like Kurt.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. He can't tell his story because he refuses to come on the show. So if he comes back on,
at least he showed his face for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always wonder if we're actually chatting with Kurt, or if it's just an AI bot.
Right.
It's AI Kurt. That's why we're not getting a bunch of back talk. AI Kurt is so much nicer.
Oh man.
So I want to go back to Scott. So Scott, why don't you what do you have planned, like, now that your schedule's going to be a little bit more calm? What's your plan? You're going to do the gym.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal set in front of you, or is it just, how you're going to keep yourself motivated?
So yes, the gym, I really want to focus on, because when I was trying to do the training to do Ironman eventually, I was 100% solely focused on cardio. And I'll be honest with you, I think I'm 47. Pretty sure I'm 47 or 48. I think I'm 47.
You're 47.
I'm 47.
Right, for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm 47. I'll be 48 here soon. And I'm noticing like my lack of building strength. I'm noticing I'm pretty weak. I just not too long ago got a dirt bike, and I was trying to throw it on the stand, and I was like, man, this thing is freaking heavy. So man, that was weird. Why would a newer motorcycle be so much heavier than older motorcycles? Why they don't do that. And I like Googled it, and I was like, oh, it's lighter than what the heck's going on here? I used to throw those things around like no big deal. So, I just thought gravity was a little bit greater in my shop, and then just started noticing more and more like I'm just weak. I'm just really weak, and the point of bringing up my age is that's not going to get any better. We're kind of getting close to that sarcopenia age, and I need to pack all the muscle I can on to retain it as long as I need to try to be a Kurt and try to retain it as long as I can. I'll still be getting cardio in because I do have to get cardio in, but I really want to. And I do know when we all met up. You and Kurt and I and everything in KetoCon in Austin that one time. I was privileged to meet Sean Baker for a minute, and he was telling me, put on muscle, put on muscle, put on muscle. And I don't know why I didn't heed his advice right away. A 50-something-year-old beast of a man, pretty impressive. He's an impressive dude, and he obviously knows what he's talking about. And also, the more muscle mass you have, just the better it is. So I want to just build up that muscle mass. And we are starting to get close to triathlon season. So I'll start getting back into that and building the distances up, to greater and greater distances. And that's pretty much my plans for right now.
I think those are great plans. And like you said about your daughter, you have to come up with the idea yourself. So you had to notice it yourself.
Right.
You had the little bit of information. It was back there hiding all the while. So you get to pull it out and use it.
Yes. And also, this is not really much of a what do you have planned for the future type thing, but I'm going to get into golf more. Because since my daughter, she plays golf, and I want to have something to, I'll do that with her. And then it's kind of funny to say, but part of my job, if I get into golf, it will help part of my job too, because take clients out and that sort of thing. And right now, if I took people out to go golfing, I would probably lose work because people would be so pissed off at my lack of golf. So yes, I'd like to get into some golfing.
Oh, that'll be a fun thing. Nice to just get outside and do that.
Absolutely.
I love to walk. Of course, I haven't golfed in ages.
Same here.
Ages. So yeah, I still score by giving myself smiley faces for doing at least one good thing.
I used to golf a little bit before my oldest was born, and she will be 15 here this year. So that tells you how long it's been since I golfed.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, you got to get that back into gear. I know my uncle got a job once, and golf was part of his job, and he didn't hate going out to the course. I mean, I guess that's where a lot of business happens. I don't know. I'm not a business person.
I almost sponsored a golf team the other day for an event they had, and I was like, this is not going to end well. I'm going to just piss more people off than anything. So I'll sponsor a hole instead of a team right now.
Instead of showing up and trying to whack the ball.
Yes.
Yeah, I got.
I'll sit down, have lunch with you guys, get our sign on the hole, and keep everybody happy with me.
Well, you'll work your way up to it.
Yes.
Oh, Kurt said the windmill gets me every time. That is the last time I went golfing, and that was just a month ago. We went mini golf.
That's a blast. I need to get the kids to do that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. We were in San Marcos. It was a fun place. Yeah, so that we went to. So yeah, that was fun. Well, I didn't prepare questions because I just figured you'd give us an update, so we don't have to try to ramble on for a full hour. So, I just want to make sure you've said everything that you wanted to say, and then I want to make sure that I tell you how much I just appreciate it going on this ride with you because, it's, it hasn't been necessarily the easiest thing, but I'm really glad that we did it. And I really just enjoyed working with you. It was a lot of fun. And I miss you. You've gotten this new job and you're too busy for us now. So I miss chatting with you. So I'm glad we had this opportunity to catch up. Thank you for making a little bit of time in your day to catch up and then tell our fans why you're leaving. It has everything to do with Kurt and nothing to do with me.
So if he's around, I'm not around.
That guy. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Robin. I had a good time, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you and your family. And yeah, I just kind of, just to bring it back to the show, I encourage everybody that will possibly see this, tell people your story, tell people your journey. It'll eventually resonate with the people that need to hear it. Kind of like with my daughter and I didn't think for a million years that it would work, and finally she was willing to check it out and try it out, and she has done fantastic. So, it's the same way how I heard about NSNG. I just, Vinny was plugging it, and I heard about it and incorporated it, and it's happened when I ramble about it in just public life, and people, it'll spark an interest of somebody that wants to change their life. So just, for those out there, just keep talking about it, and hopefully you can change someone's life.
I couldn't agree more. So I said I wasn't going to do the our mission statement, but then what you just said, it fits right in. So we know what it's like to be helpless and hopeless. Your story is not over. You can rewrite it at any time. And we want you to share your stories and how you reclaimed your life.
Absolutely.
And that's basically what you said. And the whole reason why that came about is that you said it on a podcast and I said it on a podcast separately. And then it was like, that's perfect. And I still very much feel the same way as you. That's why the podcast continues. Natalie walked in and she didn't know what she was walking into, but she came while I was out, and now she's not allowed to leave. But to continue that message is that how important it is to just get those stories out there. If my story doesn't resonate, maybe your story resonates, maybe Matt's or Kurt's resonates or Tim's. I still feel like it's extremely important to get those stories out there. So thanks for helping getting this off the ground for our little tiny thing. I mean, we used to text each other, we got another follower today.
Yeah, that's right.
We started from zero, from absolutely nothing. And, it's not like this huge thing, but it's still bigger than I could imagine it would have become. So
absolutely.
I appreciate you, and just thanks so much for going on the ride.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you as well.
All right, y'all, we're going to call it. So thanks for joining us for Less of Me Success Stories. See you next time. Hi, Robin here. I just wanted to come in and tell you about some updates that we have going on at Less of Me Success Stories. If you would please go back to listen to Scott King's episode number 36 that released on April 24th. He tells you that he's leaving our show. Listen to the episode for more details. Because he's leaving the show, Natalie and I have decided that we need to rebrand. Less of Me is Scott's handle, and we love him to death, and he's always invited to be part of our show. But we just figured it was time to change from his handle to a brand new name, Ketobiography. Here to tell us more about it is Natalie. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Robin. We are still going to explore real-life experiences that showcase the profound impact of mindful nutrition on health and well-being. You are going to start seeing changes throughout the month of May on our social media pages. However, you will still see 2 more Less of Me success story interviews. They will drop in May, and all remaining audio for Less of Me success stories will be available on June 1st.
Immediately following, we will start Ketobiography. The first episode will be released on June 5th. From there forward, we will be dropping episodes on both audio and YouTube every Thursday. We look forward to sharing our keto biographies with you.